Hi family, welcome back to ladensercrochets. If you're new to the channel, you're welcome. My name is Liz. Kindly subscribe and join the family. In this tutorial, we're making this top. The pattern is very simple and I absolutely love the back part of this top. I hope you're going to enjoy making this as much as I did. If you do, kindly leave a like, a comment, share. And if you want to leave a special gift, you can do that by clicking on the thanks button below the video. Let's get to it. We need yarn. I'm using Winter King, a medium weight yarn, which is 100% acrylic in this shade of burnt orange. Then I'll be using a 3.5mm crochet hook. We're going to need a measuring tape, a pair of scissors, a darning needle, and stitch markers. We start off by making two identical pieces like this one. So I've already made one. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make the second one, and then we're going to make two of them, then we're going to connect them into the top. Now this part is the part between the busts, and this is our starting chain, which is a chain of 20. We begin with a slip knot and then chain 20 after the slip knot. So chain 1, I have the 20 chains. After working the chains, in the first row, we're going to work these ridges at the back. You can either work this loop or you can work the loop that's at the back right here. Let me show you. So you can either work this loop or this one. So we're going to be working these loops that are at the back, these ones, all the way through the 20 chains. So after the 20 chains, we're going to block off the last chain like this, then chain one more, then yarn over, go into the back ridge of that first stitch and place yarn over and pull up a loop to get 3 loops on the hook, then yarn over and pull through the 3 loops to complete a half double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into the second chain in the back ridge, then yarn over and pull up a loop, then yarn over, pull through the 3. Now we're going to place 1 half double crochet into each of the stitches into each of the chains till we get to the end of row 1. At the end of row 1, we should have a total of 20 half double crochets. I'm at the end of row 1 and we chain 1 and turn to begin row 2. We're going to begin row 2 in this very first stitch and we're going to begin with an increase. So 1 half double crochet into that stitch and another half double crochet into the same stitch. Then all the stitches to the end, all the other stitches will get just 1 half double crochet. So we're only increasing on one side. At the end of row 2, we should have a total of 21 half double crochets. Be careful not to miss the last stitch and place a half double crochet into it. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 3. Row 3 will have 1 half double crochet into every stitch, including at the end where we increased, and that means row 3 should have 21 half double crochets, just like row 2. I'm in the last stitch where I'll place the last half double crochet. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 4. Row 4, we begin it with an increase in the first stitch, so 2 half double crochets into that very first stitch, then 1 half double crochet into every other stitch to the end. At the end of row 4, we should have 22 half double crochets. So as you can see, we are increasing in alternate rows at the beginning of the even rows. So we're going to increase in we've increased in row 2, in row 4. Next, we're going to increase in row 6, row 8, row 10, row 12, and so on. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 5. Work row 5 with 1 half double crochet into every stitch for a total of 22 half double crochets. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 6. Begin row 6 with an increase in the first stitch, 2 half double crochets, then work all the other stitches with just 1 half double crochet. Then we're going to work the rest of the rows, that is row 7, row 8, and so on, and we're going to work until we get a quarter of our bust measurements. I'm working a bust measurement of 36 divided by 4, that should be 9. I'll keep working till I get a width of 9 while I'm stretching my work. So let me show you that. In this panel that I've already worked, from this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. These are the rows that I did, a total of 20 rows that give me my 9 inches. So measuring from this point, or measuring from the starting point, this is where I started, up to the 20th row. Right here, without stretching, I'm at 6.5. When I stretch, it should get me to 9. So you want to make sure that you're stretching out your work so that you do not get something that is too big. So keep going until you get a quarter of your bust measurement, and I'll be back to show you the next thing to do. I'm done with the first 20 rows that give me a quarter of my bust, which is 9 inches. So if your bust is bigger, you're going to need to do more rows. If it's smaller, then you're going to do fewer rows. So when we measure this without stretching, we are at 7 inches. When I stretch, it gets me to 9. Now from this point, we're not going to increase anymore. So I'll just get my stitch marker and mark from the top side, the side where we have the increase. I'll mark that 10th row. 20th, sorry, the 20th row. Then you're going to take the number of rows that you've worked here and divide it by 2. So I've worked 20 divided by 2, that will give me 10. So for the next 10 rows, I'll just do rows of half double crochets without increasing to get something that is straight. So I'll work the 10 rows plus an extra 2 rows. Now if you've worked a total of 30, you'll take 30 divided by 2 to get 15. So you're going to work 15 plus an additional 2. That will be 17. So let me work the next 12 rows. Now this is the extension that goes to the back part of the top. And I'm just placing 1 half double crochet into each of the stitches. At the end of every stitch, we chain 1 and turn to begin the next row. And make sure that you're not increasing at any point. Don't forget that last stitch. Now this is after my extension of the 12 rows, and finally we're going to work the loops where the straps will go at the back. Now begin by chaining 1, begin by chaining 1, then insert your hook into the first stitch and do a single crochet, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, work into the third, place a single crochet, 1, then place a second single crochet and a third one, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, then work 3 single crochets, 1 into the next 3 stitches, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, then single crochet, 1, 2 and 3, chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2 and 3, chain 2, skip 2, then 1, 2 and 3, chain 2, skip 2, then 1 and 2. So you'll just keep going, and you just need to make sure that your last stitch is a single crochet. You can have 2 single crochets at the end, or even 3, it doesn't matter, provided they are not more than 3. Now the last row will be, we chain 1 and turn, and then all the single crochets will get a single crochet beginning with the first one. Then the chain 2 gap will get 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet onto the stitches, 2 single crochets into the chain 1 gap, then repeat to the end. Then I'll have the last single crochet into the last stitch, chain 1 and cut off the yarn at that point, pull through and fasten. So now that's what we have. Next we're going to do the strap, and for this strap you need to take the measurement from a point above your bust up to the top of your shoulders. Now my length is 7, so whatever we're going to work right here should be equal to a length of 7 inches. So when I stretch this a little bit, it gets me to 7, as you can see. And I worked a total of, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a total of 16 rows. We begin from the point where we've marked, pull out the stitch marker, insert the hook there, and get your yarn, connect it onto that row, and we're going to work in this direction. Chain 1, yarn over and go back into that row with a half double crochet. Then we place 2 half double crochets into the next row, 1 and 2, 1 half double crochet into the next, 2 half double crochets into the next, 1 half double crochet into the next row, then 2 half double crochets, and we want to work a total of 10 stitches. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the last stitch will be in the next row, 1 half double crochet, like that. Chain 1 and turn. We're going to work row 2 with 10 half double crochets, 1 into each of the stitches. Chain 1 and turn. Again we work row 3 with 10 half double crochets, chain 1 and turn to begin row 4. Row 4 we're going to work it with an increase on this side, so we place 2 half double crochets into the first stitch, then 1 half double crochet into all the other stitches. chain 1 and turn to begin row 5. From row 5 we're going to work a total of 3 rows without increasing, that is row 5, 6 and 7. So 11 stitches for rows 5, 6 and 7. I'll be back in row 8 and we're going to increase in row 8. So that means we're increasing in every 4th row. And we're only increasing on one side. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 6. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 7. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 8, and row 8, in row 8 we begin with an increase, 2 half double crochets into the same stitch, then 1 half double crochet into all the other stitches. Then after this we're going to increase in row 12, then we'll increase in row 16, then in row 20 and so on. Now let me work up to row 16 and then come back. I'm done with the 16 rows and this is what we have, and the panel is complete at this point. This is the second one. As you can see, they are completely identical like that. So what you do is you're going to chain 1 at the end and cut off the yarn. That is at the end of one of the panels. In the next one, do not cut off the yarn, and you need to make sure that you've ended with a row on this side. So then you're going to get the 2 panels. This is the first one, and the second one, and you're going to turn the second one so that they lie side by side like this, and we're going to join them at the middle, but then we're also going to join them at the shoulder part. And so what I'm going to do is I'll turn my work like this, chain 1, I've already chained 1, then I'll work 1 half double crochet into each of the stitches, so then when I get here I'm going to make a chain that will give me 5 inches. So chain 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. I'll measure the 10, see whether it's 5 inches, and you want to measure while stretching your work. So this gets me to almost, let's say 3.5. so let me chain 5 more and confirm. Now that gets me to the 5 inches, the 5-inch mark. Then I'll yarn over and get the other panel into the first stitch. I'll place a half double crochet into it like that to join the 2 pieces on the shoulder part. Then I'll continue to the end with 1 half double crochet into each of the stitches. Chain 1 and turn. After turning, we're going to work 1 half double crochet into all the stitches, including the chain 1, including the chain stitches to the end. and this will be row 1 after the connection. So let me mark that row so that I know from which point I'll be counting. 1/2 double crochet into each of the stitches and each of the chains. I'm marking the chains and I'm going to place 1/2 double crochet into each of the chains for a total of 15 half double crochets. Then I'll work into the stitches with 1/2 double crochet to the end. Now this is what we have so far. Next I'll do 3 more rows for a total of 4 without increasing at any point. So I'll just chain 1 and turn and work a total of 4 rows. I'm done with the 4 rows. Next, we're going to move a stitch marker from this point to a stitch that is in line with this line that we have right here. So I'm going to place the stitch marker in a stitch that is slightly after that line. So then for row 5, I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and I'll work until I get to a stitch before the stitch marker. Actually, it should be right here. So that's where I'm going to stop. After this first row, or the 5th row, we're going to work a reduction at the beginning, and we're going to be working a reduction in all the rows that begin on this side. So begin with a reduction, insert your hook into the first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over into the second, pull up a loop, get 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all the 4 loops. Then the rest of the stitches will get 1/2 double crochet to the end. chain 1 and turn, and this next row we just place 1 half double crochet into every stitch. Chain 1 and turn, and this next row is a row of reduction at the beginning. Then the rest of the stitches get 1 half double crochet, so we're going to alternate between a row of reduction, and we are reducing on this side, and then the next one we work with no reduction until we get a total of, you need to consider the number of rows that you had here. I had 16, then minus the 4 that we've worked, so 16 minus 4, that will be 12. And from this point I'm going to work a total of 12 rows. I'm in row 4 right now, so I'll keep going till I get to 12. I'm done with my rows, and now I'll just chain 1, and I'll leave a long end that I'll use to attach the strap. Cut off the yarn, pull through, and fasten. So we're going to attach this to the other side of the top. So you need to fold the top like this, and then align your work. Then get the dunny needle, and we're going to use it to attach these two ends together. Then at the end we're just going to put a knot, then weave in the end that remains. So now that's what we have on one side, and we're going to do the same extension onto this other side. What you do is turn your work, then you're going to start with the same number of stitches that you did on this other side. So I did 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 and 13. So starting from this side I'll count 13 stitches. 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 and 13. Insert my hook there, then grab the yarn, pull it through, chain 1. Now this is the side, the reduction side, so I'm going to start with the reduction. After chaining 1, insert my hook into the first stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, insert my hook into the second stitch and pull up a loop to get 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through the 4. Then place 1 half double crochet into all the other stitches to the end. Then I'll work the next row with no reduction, the third row with a reduction, the fourth with no reduction, and I'll keep going till I get to my 12 rows. I have the second strap ready, and I'm just going to attach it onto that other side, same way I've done with this one. Let me do that and then come back. The two straps are in place, and now we're going to join the top from this part. And you want to do that on the wrong side, so I'll just turn like this and connect from the bottom in the first stitch, and the first stitch on the other side. Insert the hook, grab your yarn, then you're going to work a slip stitch, chain one, go back into that stitch with a single crochet, connect the second stitch on this side, and I'm working over this end, so the second stitch on this side and the second stitch on the other side, connect them with a single crochet, then the third with the third on the other side, and we're just going to connect the corresponding stitches. There were 20 stitches, so connect with 20 single crochets till you get to this point. I'm done joining the two parts in the middle, so I'll just turn to the right side without cutting off the yarn. Then I'll get the loop, and I'm going to use the yarn to do a border in the front part of the top, all the way around that front part. So we begin by chaining one, and we are working over these ends. Go back into that row that is next to the stitch, next to the loop, and work a single crochet. Then we're going to get into the half double crochet row. Into each we place 2 single crochets. The next row will get 1 single crochet. The row that follows gets 2 single crochets. The next one gets 1, then 2, then 1 and 2, and we keep alternating between 2 half double crochets and 1 half double crochet into every row till we get to the corner. Now at the corner I have this row, so I'll place 2 single crochets into it. Then we skip this middle part and work onto the other side with a single crochet. Then we are working on the rows again, 2 single crochets next. One single crochet into the next one, then 2, 1, 2, so we're going to get to the next corner, into this row next to that corner, I'll place just one single crochet and return onto the stitches, and I'm going to work one single crochet into every stitch, but then I'll work in between the stitches right here. Then so we get to the next corner and turn onto the rows. So this is where we are at right now. So I'll just work on these rows, and these are the ones till I get to where I began. At the end, I have my last single crochet, so I'll just insert my hook into the first single crochet and do a slip stitch, then chain one and cut off the yarn, and you're done with that border. Pull through and fasten. So now this is what we have. Next, we'll turn our work like this, and we're going to begin from this end on this row. Insert your hook, grab your yarn and slip stitch, then chain one, back into that stitch with a single crochet. We are working on the rows, single crochet into the next row, and for the bottom part, all the rows will just get one single crochet. So just place one single crochet into each of the rows at the bottom part of the top. So each of the rows at the bottom part of the top have one single crochet, and next we're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. The first chain 2 is a double crochet, then we have a chain, and then we're going to turn, then yarn over, skip the first stitch and the second one and work into the third, place a double crochet, chain 1, yarn over, skip the next stitch, insert your hook into the next one, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we are working double crochets separated by a chain 1 as we skip one stitch. So chain 1, skip this, work into the next one, chain 1, yarn over, skip, and repeat this pattern to the end of row 2. At the end, chain 1 and do your last double crochet. So you may do the double crochets and notice that you do not have any more stitches. You might have one stitch remaining. You might have one stitch remaining after working this one. So what you're going to do, you're just going to go straight into that stitch without chaining, and you're going to do a double crochet like that. But then if you have 2 stitches remaining, you're going to chain 1 and work your double crochet into the last stitch, then chain 3 and turn to begin the third row. Now we're just going to work over the double crochets. So yarn over and work a double crochet on top of the previous double crochet, chain 1, a double crochet into the next double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and repeat to the end. chain one at the end, and then yarn over and count one stitch from here, then insert your hook into the second, that is the chains, and do a double crochet. So we are counting 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Now chain 3 and turn to begin the next row, and we're just going to do this next row the same way we've done the previous one, and we're just going to repeat, and we're going to keep on repeating that row till you get the desired length of your top. I'm going to work a total of 9 rows with the mesh stitch, then I'll be back to confirm whether I've gotten the length of the top that I want. So keep going with the mesh stitch until you get the full length of your top now. We're going to do the final row, and therefore we're going to chain 1 and turn, and this is going to be a row of single crochets. So we begin in the first double crochet with a single crochet into the chain 1 gap, a single crochet into the next double crochet into the chain 1 gap, and we're going to place 1 single crochet into all the stitches till you get to the end of this final row. Chain 1 at the end and cut off the yarn, then pull through and fasten. Next we get the darning needle, and we're going to weave in all the ends that are in the top. All the ends are weaved in, and this is what we have. The final bit that we need to do is the straps, and I'm going to be attaching a strap on either side of the top. We're going to use 2 strands of the yarn, so grab your yarn and get 2 strands of the medium weight yarn, then start with a slip knot, and then after making the slip knot, we're going to attach the yarn onto the top on the strap, on the first row of the strap. That is where we're going to reconnect the yarn and do a slip stitch right there. So insert your hook into that first row of the strap and do a slip stitch. Then we're going to make a chain that is long enough to cover the back side of the top. So just chain. I did a total of 250 chains, both on this side and on the other side. So let me go on, make the 2 straps, then I'll be back. That means when you're attaching the strap on the other side, you're still going to attach on the first row of the other strap of the top. I'm done with the 2 chains, and I'll just cut off the yarn at the end of the second one, and then after cutting it off, I'll just pull the yarn through and fasten. And then you need to make a knot at the end of each of the chains, and make sure that the knot is very close to the stitches. After making the knot, we get the pair of scissors and cut off the yarn, but don't cut too close to that knot that you've made. Then you're going to go to the other side on the other strap and do the same thing. Make a knot, make sure that the knot is very close to the stitches, tighten it, and then cut off the extra yarn that remains. We are then going to get the darning needle and weave in these 2 ends, the ones on this side and the ones on the other side. Next, we get the straps, and we're going to put them through the loops that we created, and we're going to do that as we crisscross the straps. I believe that everybody knows how to do this, so go on, put your straps into the loops, and you'll be done with the top. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the tutorial. If you've enjoyed it, kindly leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and see you in the next tutorial.